Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. How long was I sitting there staring at the screen? I was not ready. Hey, welcome back, Sophie. I'm glad you're still around. All right, charts. Still have this. I keep like screwing my workspace up, so I have to redo that. Let's save this. Okay. So, well, okay, Treasury's a little bit lower today. I don't know if that's a huge deal or not. Seems like it's significant prices, though. Yesterday kind of was like weird, like, I don't know, during the regular session we didn't really go too far. But the S&P 500, like, man, oh man, what a, woo. Somebody sold. There was some really strong, I was very organized move. It came down, like, I'll come back over here for a quick second. Oh yeah, I forgot that I can like zoom in and stuff, right? Huh. Okay, so like if we zoom in on this, come on, it was Control Z, right? Wow. Gosh dang. I know I set a hotkey for it. Control Shift Z. Oh, did I not? Control Shift Z. There we go. Okay, so you see this moves here in the S&P 500. Down move, flat, down move, flat, down move, and then it kind of turned into like all chaos. But it was a very organized downside move, suggesting the large meta orders at play. So there probably was some really big funds and so forth coming in and selling this, which might also explain why it was able to push back so much at the end of the day. And so in the end, it didn't look like absolutely terrible. So that's where that's at. Let's just take a quick look at the other instruments. Oil within the range, natural gas continuing to decline after, you know, those hitting some pretty elevated levels at one point. Oh, I forgot, we do have some news today, don't we? U.S. durable goods negative 2.1 versus an expected -1. Consumer spending 0.1 versus expected 0.2. Personal income higher than expected 0.4 as opposed to 0.3. So yeah, that's gonna sell. Interesting. Let's just come look at gold, silver. Gold and silver got just pounded yesterday. Bitcoin sold yesterday and recovered, and the dollar not quite making it to 104, but substantially higher than it was. All right, anyways, so yes, it looks like the Treasury sold here pretty well. It was, let's see here, from 20 to 15. That's not too crazy, but that's not too crazy, but it was a sell. Inflation in Belgium dropped to 10.4 today. Listen, I have a rant. Like, I was a little bit late today. You know what? I didn't even think about the news because I've already checked out. It's like it's the holidays. After this news here, like, give it 30 minutes to settle. There's probably not a whole lot is going to happen the rest of the day. Okay, so rant time. I have a rant. Listen. None of these politicians give a fuck about you. They only want your money. Okay, everyone, even Donald Trump. Okay, even Donald Trump when it came time for stimulus, right? We're having the pandemic. The stock market is like, we're going to keep going down until you give us the stimulus. And Donald Trump, he jumped at the chance. He could not give you guys stimulus fast enough. And what are they doing? They're giving you money with this hand, and then they're taking twice as much away over here. They're taking it away from your future, right? They're bribing you with your own effing money. Every single one of them, like the Republicans, even the Republicans. I'm a Republican. I tend to prefer the Republican policies. You know what? At least the Republicans publicly state that you shouldn't be doing this stuff, that we need to have a balanced budget, that the budget process that we have sucks. And yet, at the end of the day, they passed the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill, and they don't do a single thing to stop it. They give the Democrats everything that they want. They don't give a shit about you. But here's the thing, okay? The UK, Europe, Japan, China, they're all worse. And that's how you're able to have the dollar at such high levels. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yep. The politicians screw us over day after day. It is. Listen, you got to remember, politicians are not actually people, right? They are a collection of interests that are backing that person. And that's why even the best people, you go and you put them in office and they end up doing stupid stuff. Because there are so many people behind the scenes, like, manipulating them, even if they want to be responsible and so forth. It's just like it's like nearly impossible to do so. The only way that this changes is with significant changes to the system that forces Congress to be responsible. So the system works. They're not people. They're a collection of interests, and those collections of interests are just so heavily influenced by the system that it's just impossible to change anything. It's so frustrating. Europe is really hell right now. I can't move. I want to move to Bali or. I mean, it really makes you wonder, like, what the end game of all of this is, doesn't it? Because it's just a problem across the globe. There's not, Andrew Tate. I'm glad I don't get as much stuff about Andrew Tate on TikTok nowadays. I think I realized that I had seen all of the best clips and I wasn't interested in it. But he says, "Oh, like the place to go is Romania and stuff." Everywhere sucks, man. Everywhere has its problems. I'm here where I live in Utah, pretty insulated. But you know what? In Utah, we have a balanced budget amendment. So, see, in Utah, we get to have real political disputes, like, what the alcohol laws should be. People can argue about what is a bigger contributor to water usage in the state. That's probably going to have to change at some point too. We're using too much water. The Great Salt Lake is just getting, it's getting gross over there. You know what? This is what drives me nuts about local politics, is that it's so much easier to fool voters and misinform them. So I remember there was this whole thing where large portions of Salt Lake City are like unincorporated. They're not a part of any city, even though there's like tons of people living there and everything. Wow, this thing went lower. This thing went lower here in the treasuries, by the way. I don't want to rant too much. I don't think I can. Well, I could trade it. I probably could have taken a trade in there. I really did not expect them to go lower so quickly, though. Anyways, so large parts of Salt Lake City are not incorporated, and so there's this really big section that is frankly quite rich and was like bringing in all of the revenue and funding like the rest of the unincorporated areas. And they said, we want to have a city. We should have a say over what's happening with our money. And we should have a city council that's responsible to us. And the Democrat Party doesn't like this, okay, because their power base is unincorporated Salt Lake County, right? Because they get these one areas, it makes up for the conservativeness in the other areas and allows them to have more control over the local politics by having more unincorporated Salt Lake County. Okay, so it becomes a big political football when an area wants to incorporate, right? So we had this whole thing about, like, if you incorporate, okay, you're gonna have more control. You can have your own police force if you want, so that the police officers aren't being sent out to another city and leaving you high and dry, which is what was happening. That's why I had gotten involved, because somebody got shot across the street from my house. Woke up in the morning to get on the bus, and there was police cars on the road, and somebody had been shot. That's why I got involved. Right? So we had this whole thing, like, Salt Lake wants to increase your taxes, and you're going to pay less if you incorporate. And so you could go on these websites and you could look at, like, here's what your taxes are, here's it all broken down by, like, what you're paying for each thing, and then here's what somebody in a similar house is paying on these things, and there's all of these line items. And basically what would happen is you could go in and you could prove empirically that you would pay less in taxes if you incorporated, right? And what happens is all these people come in and put in disinformation and everything and kind of muddy the waters up, so they misunderstand which line items are which and which ones would apply to you if you were a city and if you were incorporated and everything else like that, to convince people that their taxes are actually cheaper by being unincorporated, right? And I told them, I remember going to these things and, like, just straight up saying, like, your taxes are going to go up, and if you don't do something, we're just gonna take our block and leave, because we have the people to do it and start a petition for us to just merge into another city, and then we wouldn't have to go through this whole big nonsense, right? So they do the vote, and the freaking idiots in the city, they fall for it. And they decide not to incorporate, which is actually, like, what tends to happen is you have to try to incorporate 2 or 3 times before it actually happens. And then, like, literally the next month after the incorporation vote failed, literally the next month after that, they raised everybody's taxes again in the county. And then they created this crazy scheme that would basically keep all of the unincorporated areas unincorporated forever, so that they would never, it wouldn't be possible for them to become cities, right? And at that point, they're like, oh wow, everything that the incorporate people said was absolutely true, and we got taken so hard. Then next time, it was like, it wasn't even close. Like, it wasn't even close, and they incorporated it, and now there's the city of Mill Creek and Salt Lake. So the city is a company, basically. It's really crazy. Like, and there's all of these interests, people that are getting funded by the county and stuff that really didn't want them to leave because they knew that they wouldn't have any funding anymore and stuff. It was crazy, man. That's what's frustrating about local politics, man. It's so much easier to misinform people. Well, the S&P 500 has recovered the losses. The treasuries have not. I feel that personal income month over month, spot 4 versus spot 3, that's not necessarily the end of the world, but it's definitely not good, and it is a completely legitimate, justified reason for there to be selling in the treasury to the tune of about 5K net. So it's really... the imbalance is not quite as huge as it might appear, but we are in quite an illiquid market, which is perhaps why, with icebergs at 02 and 01 and a hidden iceberg at 02.5 as well, that they're kind of slowing down a little bit here. They're probably likely, I think that those orders may trade. We might push through them, but it's probably going to create a little bit of a liquidity hole here. So probably a good idea for me to just kind of sit on my hands. Oh, look at that. Actually, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so what we just saw there in the S&P, I don't know if I can, like, do you see that they traded up 3 ticks very, very quickly, and they shoved through 1,000 contracts there and 1,000 contracts there? So that is actually some market orders coming in long, pushing against this move. That is curious. I don't think that I'm going to go along with that one because I don't understand why they're doing it. But the fact that somebody is pushing back against that trade is interesting indeed. And remember, the orders have more impact when it's going the other direction. So, you know, that's why it pushed them up so much. We should, you know, you really got to look out for and pay attention for that situation, right? We're trending down really strongly, and then like a really strong set of market orders come in the other direction. I've got some really good reversal trades off that. I wouldn't be doing it this time because I don't see a reason to be buying. The USA is so different to Europe. Well, it's, you know, like the whole thing that I just told you there, Sophie, is something very specific to Salt Lake City. So, you know, like the whole thing that they were doing, where it was like they were gonna unify all of the unincorporated areas into some sort of strange pseudo city and everything, is like so crazy. Like everybody in the United States would be like, what? Like just the unincorporated parts. It's like, what? You live smack dab in the middle of urban Salt Lake City, and you're not actually part of a city, and you don't have a city council, and you basically don't get any representation. Mind-boggling, right? But that was just the situation, was that people developed these areas and the cities themselves just kind of merged into each other, and some of these areas never got added to the city. I got fed up with it after the thing failed. I moved to West Valley because I knew the mayor of West Valley and he was going to do a good job, and we were in like a new area, and it was one of the best decisions I had made, man. I made so much money off that house. Oh man, this gets back to the whole thing that's like, listen, futures trading is super hard, okay? It can be done when we understand the nature of the market. It helps us understand why it's so hard, but it also explains why it's so important for us to do it and why it can actually be done and it's worth pursuing, okay? But net on the futures trading over the 5 years probably lost money. I don't even want to add it up because I don't even want to know, to be honest. I've done well this year with the new account. I'm really proud of what we've done here today, or what we've done this year. Really, actually, did way better this year than I ever dreamed. Really. Okay. But net futures trading over like the 5 years probably lost money. But I tell you what, the amount of money that I made from understanding what the interest rates were and being able to make the corrected decisions with my other investments, in particular my house, more than makes up. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that I more in net worth than I had because of all of that stuff. I had that issue, and I knew that we were in a time period where the interest rates were really good and the housing affordability was actually relatively good, even though a lot of people were complaining. And I went and I bought a townhome in a new area of West Valley City where I knew the mayor and that the mayor was going to do a good job. And I did so well with that house. Like, I came out and I was like, okay, like, I think that we should be able to make X. I don't remember how much it was, to be honest, but I think we should be able to make like this much. And then we go in and we put it up, and the offers that we got were so much above that we were like, hold up. So we went and we got it appraised by an independent appraiser so that we really knew what it was worth. And then we did it again, and like we made even more than that from that townhouse. It was such a good deal. And then we just kind of got lucky with all of the crazy stuff that happened in 2017, 2018. And we're able to sell both of our houses and buy a new house when the housing price was relatively low, like before the cost of materials and everything went up. And then we were able to refinance it at practically zero. So I did really, really well because, and I wouldn't have been able to make those decisions if I had not been futures trading. Wouldn't have known the things about the market that I needed to know to make those decisions. Yeah, I really, I mean, there was a lot, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of luck involved, right? But it pays to be informed, folks. It pays to be informed. See, there's one of the things that really bothers me is, you know, again, the politicians, they don't give a crap about you. They just want your money. See, you know that there's this thing like one of the things in the omnibus bill is that they're actually changing some of the investing rules so that like people that are more poor like can invest more essentially. But the one that really stood out to me was that they were going to make the contribution that you make automatic because too many poor people were not investing in their 401k or they didn't know any better, right? So the Congress kind of did this thing back in the 90s when they made 401ks, and I mean 401k is a great thing, but what it essentially encourages is for the general public to be ignorant about finances, right? All you got to do is max out your 401k contributions, and that's probably the best thing that you're going to do. And that's probably as much investing as most people, at least until you get into your 40s and 50s, that's as much as most people can afford to do and need to do, right? And so there's absolutely no reason for them to go in and learn about how stocks work, how the economy works, how bonds, all of these things, right? It encourages financial illiteracy. I hate that. I hate that. What's a 401k? Okay, so a 401k is an investment account that is sponsored by your employer and allows you to invest on a tax what is the word, on a pre-tax basis. It allows you to save on a pre-tax basis. So the money that you invest into your 401k doesn't get taxed. I believe it gets taxed when you take it out. But so there's kind of this whole thing about, do you think that your tax rate will be higher or lower when you retire? But because you're able to put a bigger amount of cash in because it's pre-tax, in the end, your investments make more, and so the taxes afterwards don't matter. Okay, yeah. So I think most countries have similar thing now. Yeah, and then the big thing is that your employer can match your contributions up, and so most of them will match your contributions up to a certain amount, like 4 or 5% or something like that, right? And so then, you know, if you take advantage of that, free money. So that's like a big help for you on the investment side. It is. So overall, 401ks are a good thing. It's just they're not the best thing, right? The best thing would be if you make under $200,000 a year combined with your spouse, you just don't pay capital gains taxes at all. That's what I think the law should be. I think that if your net income is less than 200,000, you don't pay capital gains taxes at all. I mean, that's a chunk of change. It is. It's not so much that it wouldn't be able to be made up elsewhere. But, you know, why not just allow middle class people to invest as much as they want in any way that they want? Why not? I'll tell you why. It's because they want to control it, because they want to control you. They don't want you to be super engaged in your finances. They don't want you to be actively investing. They don't want you to know which stocks are good and not, and what's bullshit and what's not. Because then you'd start calling them out on it, right? No taxes at all. Government should only finance itself via bond issues. Okay, so this is an interesting idea. So here's kind of the issue. So you issue bonds, right? That creates money and puts money into the system, right? You create debt, that creates money. And then that money slowly over time gets paid off. Okay. But when you print money, right, that is inflationary, right? It's even more inflationary if it doesn't get paid off, but that is inflationary. And so what is the kind of the way that you take it back? You take it back through the taxes, right? How does it get paid? Well, so in this particular, so I was, when I talked about when you create debt, you create money, I was speaking more generally speaking, right? So if you go and you take out a loan at the bank, you're creating money when you do that. Everybody thinks that the way that the bank does it is that that's money that somebody else had and they're giving that. It's not actually how it works. That's a simplified version of the banking system that we tell 5-year-olds. The reality is that the bank just puts a number in a spreadsheet and they actually create money. Okay. And when you put money in the bank, for every dollar that you put in the bank, it allows them to print $9 more somewhere else. This is like the reality of it. Okay. So anytime that you print money, it's putting more money out there, and that's generally speaking inflationary. Of course, there's all these other things that are deflationary, and so it may not actually have, make a difference, but in general, that's inflationary. That's why, for instance, so the reason why I want to make that important differentiation is because the other issue that's going on right now is that people don't have to pay back their school loans, right? So here again, you took out a loan, you created money when you took that loan out, and that money is supposed to be paid back, and it's not. So if that money is not paid back, that means that money stays in the system longer, and that's inflationary, right? Oh yeah, you're right about that, Uzi. But what actually is the ratio that they have? What is the actual ratio that they have right now? I don't know if that's. I totally forgot about that. Yep, if you're using your $10, the bank can relend all $10. You're right. Are we sure that they didn't change that back? Because why wouldn't they do, well, maybe you can't just change it back, but the question would be, at what point do they change it back to 10%? Because it probably needs to be 10%. I totally forgot about that whole thing. But anyways, so we're talking, but when we're talking about the government, so the government does the same thing. They put money out there, and then over time they're supposed to pay it back, right? So how do they pay it back? Well, they can just print more money to pay it back, right? But that means more money out there. So in order for the government to take money back out of the system, the main way that it happens in our society is through taxes, right? So what the modern monetary theory people want is they want you just print all of the money. Just print all of the money that you want, and then the way that you prevent inflation is through taxes, increasing taxes and so forth, right? So what's the issue with that? Well, the issue with that is it gives even more power to the government over your finances and so forth, right? Basically what it does is it gives the government every incentive and power to come in and say, we want this thing to do well and we don't want this thing to do well, so we'll give this guy a tax break and we'll take the taxes from this guy. But then, they always want to spend too much money anyways. It's just like, it's a system that's like destined to fail, essentially, right? So that's the modern monetary theory perspective of things. So now that we have refreshed our memory about all of that stuff, we have to go back to Akshay's proposition that we pay no taxes at all and government should only finance itself via bond issues. Then the only way that would work there would have to be some sort of a limit on how much they could actually put out, right? It's a win-win for Big G. There would have to be a limit on it, right? Otherwise, it would just spiral out of control and create inflation. Yeah, so I didn't mention the PCE there, but you're correct, Nasdaq killer. The PCE was in line. Usually the core PCE number is in line. It's very rare that that number is like off kilter. But I think the reason that they sold Nasdaq killer was because US personal income month over month was spot 4 instead of spot 3. No. You can't. So you say no limits, let the market decide it. How are you going to do that when the Federal Reserve comes in and buys them all up? Right? That's not there's that would work if the Federal Reserve wasn't allowed to buy government debt. I do there are some things that I like about your proposal. So the whole thing is like my dream. What was always described to me as a kid, and I think that this kind of perspective is a little bit naive, but I think that with some modifications and so forth, this could probably be made to work. Is that the government should be a profit revenue generating center rather than a net draw on the public. That's essentially what it is, right? Is we all make money, and then the government takes a portion of that money to fund itself, right? What if the government was forced to act like any other corporation? You can't just take money away from people. You have to be providing services. People pay for those services, and you make the money that way, right? And if the U.S. government was actually net making money, and of course they would still be allowed to take on debt, okay, just like any company does. But if you're generating a profit on your own, right? Like, think about how different the whole like monetary system would be if the government made a profit. But right, it'd be like a totally different world. I don't know if it's possible to get that. Like there's this one hand which is like, given where we're at and that's the goal, I don't know if it's possible to ever get there. And then I'm not 100% sure there might be some problems with up there that we might need to shift some things, right? Yeah. Free market, well, no. So we got to be careful with that too, Tom, right? Because free markets work pretty well, but there are some pretty significant inefficiencies built into markets that we kind of have to account for as well, right? That is part of my proposal from the other day. Fed should be the mandatory counterparty to every transaction, thus 50% volume, and should be taking a loss on every transaction, and should be listed entity a la the S&B and pay every single cent of profit as a dividend. To what? To the public? Okay. I think you have some really interesting ideas that I've never heard of. To shareholders, as long as it's public shareholders. I mean, the Federal Reserve's shareholders are the member banks, right? I don't think it should be paid to the member banks. Or rather, I don't think that the member banks need things to be rigged in their favor any more than it already is. But if it was publicly listed, that'd be great. That'd be great. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, right? Like the thing that you have to realize about our monetary system is that our monetary system was not like a bunch of guys got together in a room and they did all of this study about monetary policy and everything and what would be the most efficient economic system. And then they said, let's commission some studies, and they did all of the studies and everything. and then created the rules and sent it to Congress. And that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. The monetary system has just evolved piece by piece over hundreds, even thousands of years to some extent, right? So what we really have is this smorgasbord of ideas, and some of those ideas were probably well thought out, but there you have these guys thinking about this idea and these guys thinking about this idea, and they put them together, and then maybe they conflict or whatever the deal is, right? Like it's not well thought out. The system. So like we talk about the Matrix. I think that the Matrix is like a good allegory here in our approach to government. There is a Matrix, and the Matrix wants to put you under its control. The thing that you have to realize, though, everybody thinks that the Matrix was something that was architected by some secret cabal in Switzerland or wherever conspiracy theory you come up with, the World Economic Forum and whatnot, and they crafted it that way to control you and to give themselves power. That's not how it happened. The system is its own organic being in some sense. I mean, it's not organic like it's made out of actual living matter, but I mean it's like its own living entity that grows and develops alongside us with society, and we can make small changes to it here and there, but basically there's a certain point at which the system becomes so important to our lives that it becomes its own interest that fights against you, and it wins every time, right? That's why, like, the whole thing here is humans' natural inclination, okay? The thing that we've evolved with is to be able to survive in small groups of people, like a village, like 100 to 200 people. We've evolved to live in that situation really, really well, right? When we start scaling it up beyond that, and you're talking about hundreds of millions of people, then we have issues. We're not able to think about all of the things that are involved in it, right? And it kind of preys on that. Kind of the system preys on that, essentially. So wait, here, I should read these comments. The S&P publicly listed on 6 exchanges. They largely came up with it due to how scared they got from the 1895 bankruptcy issue of the federal government, and no banker wanted to buy bonds, followed by the 1907 crash. It was designed to address such occurrences in the future to backstop them. Gotcha. Anyways, so we're not our brains are not really designed to be able to deal with all of these issues. And what does our brains want to do? Well, in a small village, if you have a problem like that, you take the guy that's in charge out and you replace him with somebody else, right? That's actually going to go and do the right thing, or that actually knows what's going on. And so we've developed kind of all of these skills and everything to sniff out who is like the most high value person, etc., 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 right? And in our modern society, that doesn't help you, because you go and you sniff out the high value person that seems to know the most, and really what you're doing is you're picking out the person that is the most dedicated to the existing system. Right? So it doesn't change anything, right? Think about the Matrix again. Why was Neo the hero? Because Neo was the one that had the ability to change the code, right? Neo wasn't this politician that just comes in and, is all super righteous, can change anything. He can change the actual code, and that's how he defeats the Matrix. You see? You want to fix it, you got to fix the system. So he's talking about a different system. So it's so different of a system that I have a hard time wrapping my head around it and what all of the implications would be. But it's a step in the right direction when we're talking about systems, when we're trying to solve the societal problems by approaching it from systems rather than from political parties and politicians, right? Because it doesn't matter who the politician is, they don't really care about you because they're not real people. They're not real people. They're collections of interests. And those interests are their interests, not your interests. It's a movie, but it's a really good movie. It's you know, the reason that The Matrix was such a popular movie and continues to be such a popular movie is because it provided such a perfect insight into the problem of our modern society that we deal with. You know? Like when that movie came out in 1999, it was like people kind of knew that there was a problem, but it was like messing on the edges, and a lot of the bigger things was like conspiracy theory, right? Now, what, 23 years later, or what, however long it's been, right? Now it's like they're like being blatant about it. It's like what if in The Matrix, Agent Smith and the agents, you know, they were running around saying, you know, all hail the robot empire, blah, 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 blah. You know, like how would the people in the Matrix react, sort of a thing. And that's like, I feel like what we're seeing now is like the politicians are being so blatant now about the cash grabs that it's like impossible to be an informed person and not see what's going on, that the politicians are just lining their pockets. You know? I understand that it's a difficult problem to solve, but not the last one. The last movie was kind of weird. I mean, part of the problem was that, man, you're changing the subject on me and you're getting me into a different subject. But you know, every human, if you're successful, will run into the situation where your success takes you to an area where you're not good at it, right? And that's what happened with the Wachowskis, is that they were really good at this one thing, and then they got pushed into doing this other thing, and it was beyond their area of competency. And so you had a couple of like not so smart decisions. Overall, I would say that like the overall trilogy, when looked at as a complete work, is still a masterpiece, but the second and especially the third movie on their own are quite flawed, yes. And then the fourth movie was just a complete disaster. Oh my gosh. That one was like, write us a sequel, okay, if you insist. I'm gonna write a sequel about how we really shouldn't be making a sequel. That was such a mess. Don't watch the fourth one. It's not worth it. Actually, you know what? The stuff that they showed in the real world was actually kind of interesting, but overall the movie sucked so bad. Yeah, agents follow the programs. You can't negotiate with agents. But like, there's the thing is, I think that a lot of people miss the lesson that's in there, right? Because the whole movie is about Neo fighting the agent, right? And you get to the end of the movie, and like he starts to believe in himself, and he actually beats the agent. Like, remember, there's the whole part where he's sitting on the railroad tracks and he does a backflip up and out, and Agent Smith gets run over by the train, right? He actually beat the agent in a physical fight. And then what happens? He just takes over some other person and comes up out of another door, right? The only way that they were actually able to like defeat him was when Neo went into him and changed the code, right? You have to change the system, not the people. Our brains evolved to focus on people. You need to focus on the system. If you are prosperous meaning that you are able to understand, you're good at looking at and understanding systems, that's a very valuable skill that will bring you a lot of success in our modern world. That's the skill that I feel is like most lacking, is the ability to look at an entire system and understand how it works. And what is that? What is the study of that? It's microstructure. So market microstructure, that's the study of the rules of the system and how those rules of the system lead to certain behaviors and outcomes. Fun stuff. Do you think that the treasuries are going to continue down through here? It looks like they traded at least one of the big orders. There's still a lot at 01. It's still acting pretty slow, and there's quite a bit of iceberging both directions here around all of this as well. Like some of that selling at like 02 half, 03 half, etc. has got to be the market maker taking profits on the fill or something. Yep. When you get it, you won't have to dodge bullets. Yep. So you change the system. Problem with changing the system is that you have to actually replace it with a good system, right? That means you have to understand systems and how they work. You have to do your study before you actually propose a change. I mean, this is the biggest, like, I really like, actually has some interesting ideas. We need to look at the microstructure of that and do quite a bit of study before I would feel comfortable like advocating it as a position. But it's the same thing with my own idea, which is, I would like the government to work towards being a profit generating center, or at least neutral. Like, you still have to pay for services, and that is like a net chain. But, generally, I would like the government to be a profit generating center. But like, what is the actual like net system that you get after that? Is it better? Well, we have to do some study. QJ, how are you? Okay, liquidity holes have no predictive adequacy because they are the effect and not the causative agent. Well, okay, so I think that the exact sentence that you said there is incorrect to some extent, but you're on the right track, which is a liquidity hole doesn't really make you any money on its own, does it? Because what does the liquidity hole tell you? That it's going to be here for a while, and it doesn't really tell you what the direction that we're going to go. Doesn't give you a directional, up or down thing. So does a liquidity hole really give you a trade on its own? Absolutely not. Now, if you have a larger theory, if you have a larger predictor of order flow, right? So today in this situation, let's try and analyze the current situation. So we've definitely had a liquidity hole over the last 45 minutes or so around this 03 half area, right? It's a very large one, so it's been able to rotate all around this. It's also still a little heavy, and there's still some liquidity down here at 01 that I think wants to be filled, so we might see a little bit more downside action. But beyond the 01, are they going to be able to go down further? Well, we do have to consider that this is like the last trading day before the holiday. They're not going to trade again until Tuesday, and then we're going to be in the quietest week of the year, right? So, any like serious business that they want to get done, it probably needs to get done today. The issue is that the only one that I saw was that they had to sell equities and buy the treasuries. Right now we're selling. But if, for the sake of argument, I had something that says we're going to need to continue selling throughout the day, right? Then I can kind of try and use the liquidity hole to my advantage. I can come in and I can say, well, I do want to take a short I want to let this liquidity hole fill, so I'm not going to trade until 7:15. It's already past 7:15, so maybe we can do it. And then I can say, okay, I want to sell it somewhere above 03.5. And I can take that in the time, close to the end of the time period that I'm looking at. And then hopefully another leg of meta order comes in and takes it, and we make a trade off of it, right? So the liquidity hole in and of itself is not providing any kind of prediction on what direction we're going to go and whatnot, but I can use the liquidity hole to my advantage to get a better position, right? But I need to have some larger predictor of order flow, right? So liquidity holes do have predictive efficacy, is I think the word that you're looking for. They do have some predictive efficacy. Is just the thing that it predicts is that if you take a position in there, you're probably not going to be making any money for 45 minutes. So it's a prediction that doesn't, on its own, you don't make money from. It's kind of saying you're not going to make money, so stay out. Right? Unless you're going to be the market maker and you want to market make in that area, then that's a different thing. The split side and the way that I most commonly use liquidity holes is like, if I had taken the short off of that thing and then I saw that we were forming this liquidity hole at 03.5, there was a lot that traded at 02. I would probably be looking like, okay, maybe we trade 01 and maybe there's a little bit of a move below that, but then at that point I'm going to take it off. This is probably what I'd be thinking right now if I was in a position and I was holding it. In fact, if I had taken a position off of that trade, I think I'd probably already be out. I would just see the liquidity hole at 03.5 and take it off. Right? Because what does it mean? It means we're not going to go anywhere. So why stay in the trade? Take it off. If I really, really believe in it, I can put it back on in 45 minutes. Man, Jigsaw Trading has been posting like blog articles like every day this week. They do depend on time. Do you think liquidity holes depend on time? Yeah, so there is a decay function, right? So 45 minutes is a heuristic that I'm using in the treasury market that like way oversimplifies what's happening. But what happens is large meta orders have an impact of in a square root law, okay? And when the meta order ends, there is a decay function that follows a 3/4 law. So, it's a 2/5 law. I think it is. So basically take the move and times it by 1.5, and that's like how long it's going to take to come back. That's how long it's going to take for the liquidity hole to fill, generally speaking. But it kind of depends on the market and all of these other things. I shouldn't have gone that far. Should have just said a large meta order has an impact of square root law, and then there's a decay function. So if we see that they've kind of reached the, well, where's my pen? Here's my pen. The pattern is this, right? This is generally what you're going to see, right? They start the first leg of the meta order. They come to reach the extent of their impact, so they pull back on volume, and then they fill as much volume as they can in this mean reversion period, right? So when you look at it on a chart, what you typically see is this, right? That's what people see on the chart. But the reality is actually what it's doing is it's doing this. Orders are reaching the extent of their impact. They don't have as much impact. And then, so there's kind of this mean reversion period. And then the next leg of the meta order comes in. This leg is probably not going to be as big as this leg because for one, you've already moved up. And for two, it's probably going to be less volume. And you get the decay and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's why the market behaves the way that it does. Okay, so they did trade the 01. I should reset my micro over here. Not. Well, you know what? I came in today saying I'm going to rant. I'm going to have some fun because I really don't want to be taking any trades going into the holiday. Today is probably going to be a shitty day. But the treasuries definitely moved because of that news, didn't they? So I think that I missed out on an opportunity for sure. I don't know if it was actually too big of an opportunity because they, is getting a good price over here in the micros is still really hard, right? So maybe it is better that I didn't take a trade. But especially if I was in the ZN, I probably should have tried taking something. I could have gotten anywhere like, I think at 07 it was at one point, right? Yeah, the pullback was 07 and then the other pullback was 05. Anything above 03.5 would have been fine. It's okay. Yeah, it is okay. I think we were having a good discussion. It was worth it. It was worth the $10 or whatever that I missed out on, right? Oh man. That reminds me of this thing we gotta talk about. So like yesterday, we were saying, oh, I guess what I need to do is I need to go and make an anime avatar to come in and do videos on it. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, probably what we would want to do is make a separate channel, right? Make a separate channel that's just the anime character and not say anything. You would all know that it's me, but and anybody that really wants to know would know that it's me, but I would never say on the channel that it was me and just make the content like it's the anime characters putting the content out. Yeah, that'd be cool. So I went through all of the effort of like figuring all this stuff out and everything. It is a deep rabbit hole, my friends. It is a deep rabbit hole. and the reality is that to do the VTubing thing properly is probably as much work, if not more, than what we already put into the stream just from the day trading. So probably not practical for me to do unless we were going to do it cheaply and poorly. So like I went in and I got like all of the anime characters and stuff. And I just wasn't quite what, didn't quite live up to my standards. Was like you'd want to create an original character and that would cost you like $1,000, something like that. Okay, so it's time now, just 5 minutes before the open, to kind of take a look at the markets. Okay, so over here in the S&P 500, we zoom in a little bit here. We can see there was some liquidity holes up around 38.56, kind of like areas where they just completely slipped through off of the news, and you can see the S&P 500 came up and filled those areas and traded around it, but ultimately came back and pushed back down. Okay. When we look over here at the treasuries, the cumulative delta, 30-year down, 10-year down, 5-year down. So this is a situation where we absolutely could have tried to make the trade that it was going to go lower. I don't think that it was worth too much, and the liquidity in the micros is still a little questionable. But yeah, we absolutely could have sold it. And then when we come in and we look at the spreads, and again, this is an indicator that you can have a free version in the Discord, and then there's the full version with a couple of extra fancy features like auto rollovers and so forth. You can get at speculatorseth.com, and you can see the spread considerably flattening considerably all across the board. And then we got to look at the dollar. Another one of my indicators here. Dollar on the upside, not above 104 or anything, so still within the range, but they did buy off of all of that news. And so now we get to go into, let me turn off the zoom here. The S&P 500 open in a few minutes here. We'll see where it goes. I'm a little nervous because part of me says that we had a big sell-off yesterday and we had a big sell-off off of this news, and a lot of people are going to go on vacation, or like they traded that news and they're already gone. They're already done. Is there 8 o'clock news? Hold on. There is new home sales at the top of the hour. So I guess and there's the University of Michigan. So they do have to wait to the top of the hour. So the big trader is going to wait until the top of the hour, take that one, and then they're probably going to leave for the weekend, right? So I'm a little concerned that if this all turns out negative, that today ends up being like a very, very negative day in the S&P 500. When I came in here with some hope that we would retrace yesterday's action and that it would all be okay. So what was I doing? I was talking about the anime things. You guys didn't really say anything, and maybe I won't go into it. Let's see here. Did you? Well, no, I started trading futures. Yeah. So actually, the way that it happened was this. I got involved in 2008. So I started trading in 2008, and like basically what happened was I bought the dip like in like November, December, and caught like that whole rally, and then got out and sold when Obama took office and like rode that whole down leg, and then I caught the reversal. So I thought I was pretty brilliant, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this, and technical analysis does work. And by that point, then. And I had like a small portfolio that was like mostly Google and Apple. So I mean, I guess I did well on that too, but it was beginner's luck. It was beginner's luck, really. And then I went to work for the bank. And by the time I got to the bank, I started to realize that it was a lot more fun to watch the S&P 500. So that's kind of where I got into futures. So I had basically gotten into futures before the point that I had started trading real money, essentially. And when I was at the firm, you're not allowed to day trade. So I just kept track of things on a spreadsheet and did pretty good with the macro kind of framework. So I knew that it probably wasn't realistic, but you know, the kind of the difference with me was that, excuse me, I was much more prepared on day one of live trading than most people are. Okay, like I knew a lot more about the markets, and I had a lot more experience from watching the markets than most people do. And this is why, you know, even then when I started trading live, you know, I went through a lot of periods of trading at sim, and I probably would still be going through periods of live and sim if weren't for these micros, because the full ones I can lose $500 in a day, and that's like 33%. I don't like that. So better to come over here in the micros. But that's why I'm kind of like, you know, like trade on sim as long as you have to. till you know what's going on. You know, of course there's like that emotional aspect of it, but you know, that emotional aspect is a lot easier to overcome when you actually have an edge. Right? If you're a noise trader and you're just trading technical analysis, then that's going to be hell. But if you actually have an edge, it's a lot easier to overcome those things, right? So I never had this experience of like, I traded equities and it didn't really work out, and then I trade future or anything like that. No. What if the order fills up the hole faster than that or slower than that? Okay, so why does it take time for the hole to fill? So you have all of these market makers that just took on positions in that area. So it takes time for those market makers to either exit those positions and put themselves in a place where they can take on inventory again, and vice versa for other new people to come into the market and want to trade it. So that's why it takes time. So you're absolutely right that you could have a situation where like there's a liquidity hole, and then all of a sudden some really big guy comes in and tries to trade it. The thing is that they're going to move it, and it's going to be hard for them to break out. But sometimes you do see the situation where the number of orders that they need to execute is just like, maybe they're stopping out, something like that, and it busts it out and they move into a new range. It totally can happen. So you kind of got it. It's not a guarantee that it's going to stay in that range for sure. I think when you said CLG, it probably meant just CL. Well, it's definitely within the range of volatility and everything else for oil to trade above 80. Definitely within the realm of possibilities. I mean, it's already touched it, hasn't it? Maybe not quite. 79.98. So it was like 1 cent from it. Probably will touch it eventually. Yeah. Oh, 38 is okay. The thing with this, like with oil, is that, man, some of these days you can catch like $3. This is getting really insane over there. The way that I take it is like, oh my gosh, Kyle. Here. So I was talking about the oh geez, where is it? Oh, I deleted. It's on here somewhere. Oh, did I put it in Steam? Is it on Steam? Yeah, it is. One trade a day actually makes more than any. Well, make use of it now, so because oil is not always so good. Like, one thing you got to remember is that it's typically easier to make money when the market is moving up than when it's moving down. So right now with oil moving up, you can make a bundle, but there's been some times when oil will just destroy you, right? So what you got to be cognizant of is you're doing really well right now. You might not be doing, it might not be so easy a year from now. The market's going to be different, right? So make what you can now while it's doing good, and be ready for when the market shifts, right? This one doesn't really have boobs. I need an avatar that really has boobs. Let's see here. Oh no, wait, that one is probably too lewd. That one's like a succubus on a couch. Yeah, that's probably too lewd. My favorite was this one, but you guys wanted it's not a game, man, it's a VTuber suite. She doesn't really have. This one was my favorite, to be honest with you. So it's the one that I felt was like the most professional looking. Here, wait, let's see if I can. I'll put it down in here. We'll make it the right size. Make it the right size. And then, oh, you gotta get rid of this thing. You gotta get rid of this thing. I know, it's so freaking weird, right? Basic. There we go. Yay! Wait, does I? Oh yeah, no, we're good. Okay, and then I have to come into what, the settings here? Yes. And choose camera and turn the camera on. Okay. Okay. And we need to move our phase and all these sorts of things. It might not, it looks like it's not, I think that it's not picking up the camera because the camera is already being used by OBS. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait, maybe I can, maybe I can come in here and start virtual camera, output type, internal, or no, source, Sony A7, okay. Start virtual camera, choose camera over here, OBS virtual camera, select. Hopefully this all works correctly. I think I just go with NV12. I don't think it matters. Camera on now. Now does it do it? Ah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Now it, and it even talks. Huh? Eh? Eh? Come on. Make it a little bigger. There you go. There's the anime avatar. Do you think it's alive? Oh man. Yeah, she's gonna mimic me like a VR chat avatar. I don't think I'm prepared. Right? This one is the most safe for work, you know, professional looking avatar. Oh, it doesn't do, I don't think that this avatar does hands. Blush more? Oh, I can. Let's see here. Does it have? Yes. Oh, okay. The blush was already on. There's like a more subtle blush. Yeah. I can also get very angry at you for you know, requesting such lewd things. A grown man in a little girl body is the most professional. No, this is a grown woman, my friend. She's 20. That's a grown woman right there. Get a cat. I don't know what the deal was with the little person that's like has the bow on their head and all that shit. I don't know what that's what's that. Here's me being concerned. I can do a bunch of emotions. Oh, I'm a little concerned. The S&P 500 is going down. That's not good. Look at that. Look at shock. Oh my gosh, that was such a big move. Wow. Dude, like the way her eyes get all like dilated. That's freaking hilarious, man. What? There you go. There's more blushing. I can put stars in my eyes. I don't know what the stars in the eyes mean. Do you know what the stars in the eye mean? Oh, I can put glasses on. Then oh, I forget, what is this one? Oh yeah, you can change the hair. Yeah. How do you blush that sexy? It is, I gotta tell you what, the whole anime thing is like, with that is just like totally. So can I show you something else? Because I went all crazy with that. I was like, okay, let's try and design some avatars or whatever. So I was really frustrated that like you have to go and buy an avatar from somebody. Like it's all set up to be like you pay somebody to create the assets for you. And there is some machine learning stuff where you can just take like one image and it will do the, but I haven't seen that in any of the actual products. It's kind of complicated to set that up and I didn't get that far. But so what I did is I found all of these like generators online. So I'm like, okay, let's try and generate a cute anime girl for the thing. Where's the one that I really like? Oh, there was this, I was doing a redhead. So here was the cute redhead. There was the cute redhead. What do you think about that one? Yeah. What if that's who was running the stream, huh? Huh? I think I could get behind that. I kind of like her. And then there's this one. This one's a little more dreamy. Oh yeah. That's dreamy. So like there's all of these little generator things. So I spent a good portion of my free time yesterday like going through the generators and trying all of the different options and all of the different clothes and stuff that goes on. Watching the current view tick up. Wait, is it going? Oh my, it is going up. What the oh man. 38 is perfect for me. One trade a day actually makes more than any thing. So I discovered oil this month. Yeah, you gotta be careful because it's so early. Oh, you know what? My thing is catching up over here. People like their lolly. I probably need to change over here. I can make it come back. It looks like the blinking. Oh, I don't know where you do it at. Is it over here? Somewhere you can like shift the maybe it's over. No, these are the hotkey settings. Physics, face. I don't know where it is now. Oh, maybe it's over here. Ah, there we go. Blink sensitivity. Maybe more like that. There we go. Now I just feel bad for asking Seth for dating advice. Well, here's the thing, actually. Here's my advice. So like, I don't think I got it before. The anime thing, that is. Because before going down this rabbit hole, you know, like a lot of the early anime, like I like Evangelion, that's basically like a post-apocalyptic world, right? There was Ghost in the Shell, which is like a dystopian future. Like there's a lot of cool sci-fi and that sort of stuff in like the early anime. And so that's kind of what I think about in anime is it's like cool sci-fi or like Dragon Ball, which is like a fighter, right? That's the cool thing. The anime has really evolved beyond that now, right? There's all different kinds of anime. So what actually makes the anime? What actually makes it anime anymore? I guess the drawing style? But like then every show kind of has slightly different drawing styles too. And what I'm starting to realize is that the drawing style is basically like a max min sort of a thing. Basically, they gone in and they said, I'm going to make the cutest girl you can possibly draw. And so everything about them, the proportions, the face, how big the eyes are, how all of the lights in the eye and everything is designed to be like the maximum whatever the thing is that they're going for. So like what I'm realizing is that like we think that is just like a stylized way of drawing that originated in Japan. I'm realizing that if Japan didn't exist, somebody probably would have come up with it anyways, because it's like the maximum cuteness factor for different things, right? So all I'm trying to say is that, you know, anime girls are pretty cute, and that they're cute in a way that you can't duplicate in real life. So if you really can't get a girl, I'm just saying, if you really can't get a girl, you live in the best time in the history of man to be single. That's all I'm saying. Animes are the masters of capturing edge. There. You're speaking in a woman. Is it catfishing? There is a guy on here. You want to see the other avatars? When I turn away, it doesn't pick my eyes up correctly. It's funny. What do you want to see? So here's the guy. Hey. This one, he can move his hand, but I don't know how to do it. I want to be able to at least see his tie. There. How's that? Now I'm not catfishing you anymore. So that said, I can be your girl. Oh, okay. No, that's not what I was saying. He looks similar to the girl. Yeah, in a way. I guess because they're both wearing business attire. Right? But I like, so the thing I was kind of thinking about is like, you want to have a character that's memorable, right? I feel like that character is like not very memorable. This one right here with the kind of the techie jacket and everything, the succubus. Come on. I think the succubus is still close enough. I think it's still close enough that, yeah. I do the black cat. Oh man. The black, okay, we'll do the cat. I can show you all of them. What's your favorite hair color? You don't like her snake eyes? Yeah, I don't like red eyes either. You can probably change that stuff though. There we go. Now I'm a black cat. Is that bad? Yeah. It is a pretty cute kitty. Yeah, it's the whole cat. Is it better with the whole cat? I feel like in some way that, yeah, seeing the legs is cuter. Seeing the legs is cuter. He doesn't, I don't know. Like, one of the problem with the 2D ones is I feel like they're not as emotive. You know what I mean? So there's some of these other ones. Some of the best ones really do like straight up look like a child. Like this one right here. That is a little schoolgirl. She's pretty good, like she's pretty emotive and everything, but it's a little schoolgirl. So I think probably not. There's this one. This one is reasonably professional. Yeah. Oh my god, she's hot. What? I wonder, because again, why are the options so skewed to the young feminine side? Because it's a max min, man. It's max min. It's all about making the cutest, most attractive thing, right? Yeah, it appeals to the, yeah, that's exactly, Uzi is exactly right there. I'm not going to say that, but that's exactly it, right? Yeah, and when you see the guys are like a masculine guy too, but men are more attracted to like the visual stuff. So yeah, I know, right? But that's the whole thing is men are like to look at things, so they made an art style that appealed most extremely to male visual perceptions. Here's another one. It's got beautiful eyes. The thing I don't like about this one is that, like, when I turn my head, like, the whole body moves. Right? Yep, and most men have a proclivity for young women deep in their brains, kids too. Enemy allows them to satisfy that desire. Well, the thing about them being like kids is like, what the F, right? They should be 21. And it's a little disturbing when you see ones that are like supposed to be like 14-year-olds and they're kind of sexualized a little bit. That is disturbing to me. I think that's disturbing to me. Here's one that's a little more professional again. Misses her nose. This one again is one that I think you're supposed to work with the hands, but I don't know how to make that work. There we go. She has 4 arms. Yes, this is actually it's an Indian character. No, I don't know. I don't know how to make the arms work. I think that it was designed to work in a different program, and so it's not translating over completely correctly. I feel like I really like the look of her as like being a professional, but again, it's like it needs to be recognizable too. There needs to be something unique that you remember about the character, right? I guess maybe the little neck scarf might be enough, but she looks like your boss. She looks angry. No, man. And then there's, I don't really like that one, so I'm just gonna skip that one. Then we get into the white-haired ones. By the way, we got about 6 minutes. She's got a headband. I don't think this one's very professional, but I think it's a pretty good like model. Shoot. Oh, you like that one, huh, Nasdaq Killer? Yeah. I love this website. Well, so the thing is, the thing that's interesting about the VTubing world, I guess, is that it's very decentralized. So this program is called VTube Studio. There's like 4 other programs that essentially do the same thing and can use the same assets. I picked this one because I was having trouble getting the camera to work in the other ones. VTube Studio. Yeah. But like there's all of these different places you can go to like generate them. There's another one that does 3D ones. I'll show you the 3D one here in a second if you want. What was the other one? There's the one with the ears, right? Yeah, this will probably be the last one. Pink hair. Oh man. I love how when I look over and I close my eyes, the ears like move and stuff. Oh man. I just heard some clicking. Oh, okay, so the S&P 500 is breaking lows here. You like this one the most? That's funny. It has to have pink hair, right? Pink hair and blue eyes. I think to do this right, though, I'd probably need to shift some things, like maybe have it auto blink or something. Because it's constant, like the eyes are constantly closing and stuff, right? I just turned the blink sensitivity completely off. There. So then there's also, so those are the 2D ones. Like I told you, I went down the rabbit hole yesterday, man. Like I went way too deep. Okay, so hold on. The 3D one was VTube Maker. Yes, that's right. Or it's the best one, at least. This one, the avatars come with it. There you go. Little bunny ear girl. Well, yeah, you can definitely make one. Custom one, but it's a lot of freaking work is the problem. Hold up. There we go. Now this one you can change the avatar, and there's some paid ones. So here's a non-paid one. There you go. There you go. Oh no, wait, I don't have the camera set up. Tracking on. Use the virtual camera here. Come on. See, there's like hand tracking and stuff you can get. See, this one for some reason doesn't want to, maybe I need to turn the tracking off and back on. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get it to work. Anime is as close to middle-aged men can get to visually manifesting their deep desire. No, it's not. It's not. There. I mean, that happens. Okay, that happens. But I don't think that that's a primary driving factor. Okay, the most attractive woman to men is 21. Okay. But there again, like, that's what I was saying. Like, I never understood that stuff. Like, why would you even, why would you make all that? Why would you make stuff like that? Like lewd stuff, like lewd anime. I mean, this one is a little bit lewd. Okay, she's got some boobs. Like, why would you make that sort of a thing? And going through this whole exercise, I feel like I understand it now. The objective is the maximum thing. Okay, so here's the news. Okay, so first, new home sales slightly above expectations, and the sentiment final 59.7 versus 59.1. So sentiment slightly better than expected, but what about the inflation numbers? So both of the inflation numbers were under expectations, 4.4 versus 4.6 for the 1-year inflation expectations, and 2.9 versus 3% for the 5-year. So that overall, I would say, is good. Probably explains why they're moving up. They look at you assigning ages to cartoon characters like it matters. That is not a 16-year-old kid. Okay, that is a 21-year-old girl. I don't see how you could see it any other way, but okay. That's the girl with the bunny ears. There's some that they're like the paid ones, so I can just try it, but they kind of show me weird things. They showed the stuff over the front of it, rather. There are some that aren't plus, aren't there? What's this one? Try this asset. Reindeer ears. What the heck? What's this? This one might be weird. Well, that one's not even anime. No, so the whole thing is like the maximum thing. So if they're gonna go for loot, something that's loot, then you go for the maximum lootness. Yes. And like the whole thing about anime is like being unabashed about it is kind of the funny thing. I think I'm gonna exit that one because it's not face tracking. Oh no, we're losing views. The views stopped going up. Hold on. Hold on. Just stick with me here. Stick with me here. Okay, so I think we need to have a vote. I don't care what people be into, but you can't be aligning. Well, so the other thing that you got to keep in mind, Uzi, is that it's not necessarily all sexual, right? So guys like looking at cute things too, right? Like, don't you enjoy a cute puppy? It's not because you want to bone the cute puppy, it's because the puppy is cute. And a lot of anime characters are drawn to the maximum cuteness, right? Like Spy Family, the little girl in that is so effing adorable. I don't know how any man watches that show and not be like, I want to start a family so I can have cute kids. It is. It's a good show. Okay, let's turn the face tracking back on here. Okay. So I think we should do a vote. So let's see here. Start a poll. Which is the best avatar? Okay, we'll do cat ears. Which one will we do here? Bring it back over here. So we have the cat ears one. The succubus. Cat ears. Succubus. We'll add as many. How many can we add? Okay, we can add 4. Business. And what was the other one that we really liked? Was the oops. Misclicked there. It was Epsilon, right? You liked Epsilon? This girl right here. That's as many as I can add. I wish I could do the cat too. We'll just do it among these 4, okay? No, Epsilon is the name of the model. Epsilon. Should we call it the girl in the yellow dress? I don't know. It's not a dress, is it? She has shorts. Oh, yeah, it's just a yellow shirt and a skirt. I'll leave Epsilon up because that's the one that is like the weirdest one. Like, or you know, the name is not very descriptive. Okay, poll is up. Vote now. You know what the other thing that was interesting though was I was just, is this not face tracking me correctly? Why is she sad? There we go. I'll just vote cat ears because it says cat. Oh man, you guys. There we go. So another thing though about all of this is that like going and creating a virtual avatar, like the I don't really want to pull them up right now, but there's all of these little games you can play where you can, you know, change between the different eyes that you want, and every little bit of it you can change and stuff like that. There is, I don't know what the underlying function of it is, but like it really generates some dopamine. Like I felt like going through that and making a bunch of avatars and looking at all of these different choices was like a dopamine overload for me. Like I think I'm gonna have to like no TikTok over the weekend and that. Like I think I need to be on a dopamine detox after all of this anime stuff. This is just too much. I tell you, do you hear this whole thing that like there was a time in Australia where they were having problems with rabbits, and they were like, they would give people free license to kill as many rabbits as they could, and it wasn't working. They couldn't kill enough rabbits. So instead what they did is they went and they created fake rabbits, and that was like more attractive than a regular rabbit. And all of the rabbits that preferred the fake rabbits would just sit and stare at the fake rabbit and didn't reproduce. And that's how they brought the rabbit population under control. And I can't help but wonder if there is not something going on there with that they're using, that it seems like we're falling for the same thing. People, the anime, because I mean, Japan, the birth rate in Japan is pretty low, and that's where it started. Right? It's like they've created these drawn characters that appeal more to our senses than anything in real life ever possibly could. And then people are more interested in the anime than they are in real life. I still disagree with the how old do you think this character is? Do you think that this is a 14-year-old character? Come on, only 3 votes? Come on. Oh yeah, there's on this whole singleism wave, enjoying having their time and space all to themselves. Yeah. She could be 16. You might be right. I think that she could be between 16 and 21. Why do you have to convince yourself she's a certain age again? She looks like a 50-year-old grandma all dolled up for a pool day. Ah. Matters. Listen, I like in real life, I gotta tell you, man, this was something that was so weird. Like I don't, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around how our perceptions of the world change as we get older, and what might be going on in our minds that cause those changes to happen. Because when I was in high school, 16-year-old girl was the hottest thing, and you know, older girls weren't as interesting to me. And now that I'm in my 30s, I am not interested in a girl if like anything below 24. Like if I knew that they were younger than 24, I probably wouldn't be interested in them. But for the most part, even if I don't know how old they are, like if you show me a picture of a person and not tell me how old, and I say are they attractive or not, and like if they're below 19, I don't find that attractive at all. It is like girls under 19, it's just like, ugh. I don't, it's like I was ever attracted to that. I don't get it. It's weird how it changes. How old is she digitally? If I was gonna go all out on this, I'd spend $1,000 for an avatar, and I'd have to make sure that she looks like a 30-year-old woman. No, I don't think it's just that you're not attracted to their personalities. Like their body is like not fully formed until they're 26, and I don't find it attractive. So I tell you, here's the thing that in young girls that I find the least attractive. So you know, these like this girl, I wouldn't be very attracted to her because look at her freaking arms. She's got like twigs for arms. How does that arm move? I don't know how that arm would even move. I don't get it. It's almost gross to me. It's like unhealthy. I don't like it at all. Don't like it at all. There needs to be a little meat on them. Right? And it's not until you're like 20, it's not until you're in your late 20s that it's like your bones and everything have like fully filled out. You know what I mean? Well, if you find a 14-year-old girl that's like super buff and everything, then maybe. But that's the thing. I really don't like girls that are like twigs, which is kind of interestingly enough like the aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like on TikTok, there's a lot of girls that are twigs that do well, and I'm like, whoa, no, thank you. They need to have some hips. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Well, nobody likes Epsilon. There's the cat ears and businesses winning out right now. I'm going to switch it over to the cat ears again. While we're doing this, we can do like another round if we want. It's interesting that you guys like the cat ears one. I knew someone was suspicious in this debate. Well, this is why I've watched this conversation on Reddit many times. That's why I'm kind of avoiding going too deep into it, because I know where it goes. It goes into accusing somebody of being a pedophile at some point, right? That's really what it comes down to. But Uzi's taking a slightly different take on the debate than what I typically see. Because what he's saying is that all anime is attractive to us to some degree because they look like underage girls. I don't agree with that. There are some characters that definitely are meant to look underage and get sexualized still, and that is like super disturbing to me. Okay, I've definitely seen people on Reddit post pictures like that. I don't know if there's like animes out there or where that comes from, but the characters that I think, okay, so like my ideal anime character would be like Misato from Evangelion. Misato is the best girl, okay? She's in her 30s. She looks like she's in her 30s. I'm not saying it's a 100% rule. You're just saying it's a foundation. I don't even think you could say a foundation, but I think that you could say that it is a bigger factor in internet culture than it should be. I would definitely agree with that. Right? It is a bigger factor in the internet culture than it probably should be, and it's a little bit disturbing. But you know what? This is kind of like a problem across the whole internet, right? There's this whole thing in Twitter where they were like, you know, that there's this stuff going on in Twitter. They could do something about it, and they didn't do anything about it until Elon got in, and you got to wonder why they're doing that. Does make you wonder. I'd be more inclined to use badass male characters as avatars than I would females. Well, you know, I didn't look too hard at the male characters, to be honest. I really, so when I was doing this, oh my gosh, when I look away, her eyes like go up in her head and it looks so weird. When I was looking through this, I was thinking of it from the perspective of, I'll write the script and have my wife do the voice. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, let's start another channel. It'll be some of the same kind of content. I'll like duplicate some of my older videos, but make it more like, you know, funny and a schoolgirl talking about it. And then have my wife do it, do the voice. That's what I was thinking. But I think if I was going to do that, it would need to be like a unique avatar. You know what I mean? Better than you catfish. Yeah, it totally is. The other thing that I thought about was like, I could do it like this, where it's like, here's oops, I need to pull me back up. Here's me, and here's the avatar, and I could make like this AI. I could use the thing and type the words, or, you know, I could find somebody to play the part of it, and it would be me interacting with the avatar instead of it being copying my face. That would be maybe interesting too. He's technically catfishing us even better now. Is that what? Oh my gosh, you guys. Maximum cuteness. You know what I think makes it maximum cute to me though is the eyes, man. It's the big eyes. I don't know why we... Oh, actually I do. We find big eyes cute because... babies, I guess. I don't know if that has anything to do with the thing that we were talking about, but I guess he's probably going to find a way to tie it in, isn't he? Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. Okay, so... let's take a look back over the markets here again. So since the news, you can see the treasuries moving up quite nicely, and we're getting only a little bit of upside action though, especially in the 5-year over here. So when you look at the spreads, we are steepening. Look at how nicely we're steepening, but it is much more gentle. It is much more gentle. So the market is definitely reacting differently on this direction up. But it looks like the CB consumer confidence numbers, the inflation numbers being under expectations, is helping the markets to come over here into the equities. In fact, we're starting to get above our dotted orange line. This is, again, our inventory cost basis is a model that attempts to estimate average market maker positions and is an indicator that you can find in my paid indicator suite at speculatorseth.com. So getting above that dotted orange line means that basically all of the short market makers are getting stopped out. So that's a pretty good setup. Given like the way this all worked out in the news and everything, it is possible that that's the end of it. But I'm hopeful that we get some further upside. Like, there certainly could be the case that like we would be longs might try and come in and like take advantage of the low liquidity later in the day, sort of a thing, right? So 30% hair. Characters are 25% eyes and 30% hair. Yeah. Well, the other thing is the hair that you get on these anime characters can be like so much bigger and more crazy than a woman could ever actually have in real life. You can't You can't get this hair without extensions. You can't. It's just not possible. And pause after. Well, you know what? The actual stream numbers here. I'll show you the graph. It's kind of weird. So you see this period here, like it peaked. That's like our usual peak at around the top of the hour. Well, not at the top of the hour. Usually around 7:30 is when we're doing well. Then after it opened, we started doing the anime character thing. And so there's at least 5 people that stuck around and wanted to watch that. And then after we got through all of those and we had the news, then it went back down a little bit. So some evidence to support that the audience prefers the anime character, but we're not entirely sure. Here's the thing is there's 17 of you. Only 5 votes on the poll. Only 5 votes on the poll. I don't know. And the thing is it's between cat ears and business. And I like the business one the most. I mean, that was the first one that we did, but that's my favorite. Where is she? Which is kind of funny because there's nothing like super crazy about her or anything. It just looks like she's professionally dressed. Yeah, no, this one doesn't have forearms. I do like the outfit on that the forearm girl better, but she looks like she works at an office, don't you think? That she looks to me like a kid that just graduated college and is working at a financial firm. That's what I think. Probably works too late. Low key, the forearms lady would get the most because she has forearms. Probably. Should I like full on catfish you guys now? Again? Or bring it down and put it over and there we go. Oh no, we could set it up so that like the robots speaks for it. So there's a voice. There's actually like, okay, so like the other thing is like catfishing people is totally a thing. It's totally a thing. Like when I was looking through one of the most requested things, like one of the things that people were requesting the most was voice changers. They wanted better voice changers and stuff. So the catfishing is totally a thing. And you know what? I think that they are, I think that here's the other side of it. Like the VTubing thing in particular is it is guys that feel like that they would get more attention if they were girls. That's really what it is. This one looks childish to you? Nah, she's young, but she's not a child. That other one, there is the one that she definitely looks like a child. But look, this one, she's a woman. Just average proportion woman. Can you edit her at all? Well, so there are programs I could come in and edit her, yes. So if for instance we wanted to change her hair color, I think that I could manage that, yeah. If I wanted to change her clothes, that probably would be more difficult. You want the glass? Let's put the glasses on. There we go. Now she definitely looks older. Huh? Does that make her look older with the glasses or no? I'm not sure. There's also like short hair. Short hair makes her look younger. Also get rid of the blush. That makes her look more like a older. Glasses make her look studious. So it does. It does. To be honest, like the thing is, I gotta tell you, like to be honest with you, I think part of the reason why I like this one is my favorite, at least. And I really think the reason why it's my favorite is because it reminds me of my wife. She doesn't have bangs like that, but it reminds me a lot of my wife for whatever reason. I guess any brown-haired girl would remind me of my wife, but there was one that I didn't show you. Oh, here's another brown-haired girl that I didn't show you. This one is weird. Because this one has like some coloring effects to it that are a little weird. Plus, this girl's boobs doesn't look right to me. So I don't like it for that reason. You're probably right. The cat ears is maybe the best. It's interesting to me that what was it that you guys guidelines? She's okay. She's okay. Why do you guys like the cat ears more than the succubus? I think the succubus has a freaking dope outfit. Oh, is it? Maybe it's the eyes. Maybe we don't like. What kind of color eyes are those? They're greenish eyes. Don't look like you're stoned. Good grief. It's the green, the bright green eyes, not as cool. I just think her jacket is cool. She looks like that. I haven't watched that show. Should I actually watch that show? When I see all of the content from it, I'm like, I don't know if this is a show that I'll actually enjoy. But like, that's the one that everybody's talking about. Like, the thing that I'm in is like, I've been watching Spy Family and my wife loves that show. Like, she was talking about buying Spy Family merchandise for herself. Like, she really likes it. and it is a great show. It is so effing funny. Ooh, and tomorrow we get a new episode, and it's like a significant point because they meet their target that they're going after. You love the theme song? It is good. Yeah. It's funny, it's cute, and it's like everybody will enjoy it. It's like the whole family can enjoy it kind of a show. Like, I think the girls don't watch it because like my daughters don't watch it because they feel like they missed out on the beginning of it, but they could totally come in now and understand. It makes you want to have a family. It is a lot. You know, so as a person that has a family, the thing that I find interesting about it is like, it seems to me like it's a Japanese perspective on the family. Like some of the issues that they seem to focus on seem to be not so much a thing in the United States, you know, like the girl thinking, oh, I'm terrible at cooking, I'm not good enough for him, he's gonna leave me, sort of thing. I don't think most women in the United States think that way. I don't. This is one where the English dub is definitely better than the original. So the most recent episodes, I don't get the dub, and it's not, I don't find it quite as interesting. The second son that gets well, I wonder if that thing is a play on other animes, right? Because like in Evangelion, calling them second children and stuff is like a big thing. And there's other animes that kind of do that sort of a thing. So I'm wondering if we don't completely understand the whole joke. Oh my gosh, that was me taking a drink and she looked like she was like stoned. You know what, guys, you're right. The succubus isn't as good. Succubus isn't as good. Cat ears it is, I guess. Cat ears are business. Okay, so only 8 people voted, but we're gonna. I think we should change it. So we should add one in there. Which one should we add in? We'll take the succubus and epsilon out, and we'll add the forearms. So we add the forearms and the cat. Okay. One more poll. We got about. Oh no, it's still only 8:30. We're good. Start a poll. Okay. Which avatar is best? Cat ears. And then business. Actually, just a cat. Just a cat. And what was the one that I said I was gonna add? Oh, forearms. Forearms. Greeter. Okay. Vote now. The cat is a safe bet is all. I think there's a dog at the end too. There is. Oh yeah, there's a dog, isn't there? Wait, let's see. There's the black cat. And then at the end there's like there's a white cat and there's a dog. The dog. Wait, what was the name of the dog? Oh, what? What? This thing? No. This is the first time I've looked at this one. This is the first time I've looked at this one. Forearms is a meme, right? Oh my gosh, this dog. And look, he turns in the ball when I move my head. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, let's make him big. Make him big. Can you imagine that day trading with this cutest puppy that fits in a bowl? Oh my gosh. Guys, this is fucking ridiculous. Oh man. But look at this. This is the best part, okay? This is the best part. I don't know if you guys can read it on the screen. It's probably too small, but do you see his name? His name is Wanko. His name is Wanko. Wanko the dog. Are you kidding me? Wanko the dog. Maybe I need to change the poll. Maybe I need to change the poll. Well, I'll leave that one up. I'll leave that one up. We got 30 minutes. That's a good enough time for you guys to all get your votes in. So, as far as the market goes here, I'm kind of feeling conflicted at the moment because, you know, I probably could have traded this. I don't know if it would have worked out very well, but there was definitely some opportunity. It was like, look, we moved like what 50 basis points overall in the end. The range was 5 basis points. But it's kind of looking to me like the game's not over, that the S&P 500 is going to keep going up here and yada yada, like the day's not over. But everything in my experience says that you don't want to trade this, that now that they're all of the big traders are on vacation, and that this market is just going to be a shit show from here on out. Yeah. I don't know, man. This dog is pretty freaking dope. Does the dog come with emotes? Let's see here. Expression editor, create hotkeys for unused expressions. Oh, nope. It doesn't come with any cool expressions. That's disappointing. I think you can personify the cat because you can get away with being mean. You're probably right. Because with the cute, like a cute dog in a bowl telling you that everything that you've based your entire trading career on is total bullshit and that you have no clue what you're talking about. I don't think I can really see a puppy coming in and telling you that, right? No, I don't think so. The dog is funny. The cat, though. Wait, we'll come back. Let's switch. We'll switch to the cat. And it's got to be the black cat, too. It's got to be the black cat, too. Listen, folks. Of course, why do day traders lose? Of course, like most day traders have to lose money. But the main reason that day traders lose is because they're fucking stupid. You go in and you're basing your trading on like some bullshit that you read off of Reddit and you never actually checked. And you're not like sophisticated enough to actually like even understand. So like there's statistics and fat tails behind all of this stuff, right? And some idiot comes and says, oh, I was profitable this week. And you're like, oh, that must be the way then. That's why most day traders lose. Does it work? Does the cat work? Can I rant like that with the cat and it works? Because if I can get, you know, if I can say those things more often and the cat, you know, the cat softens the blow or whatever, and I'm totally down. I'm totally down. I don't like the ones where it's like when I move the head, like the whole character moves. I don't like that as much. I think you got something going here. Cats have an intellectual thing going on, says Andre. Oh, you want just the cat? Wait, you can change it, can't you? Oh, maybe you can't. I don't know. Okay, I'll take one off of cat ears and put one on just the cat. Oh man. What about this one? Does this one have emotes? You would think that it would be able to emote like the tail and stuff. Nope. Now that's got me thinking though. I love how a 50-point rally is now completely irrelevant. Is that? No, I mentioned it, right? I don't know about the treasures here, but I said like I'm looking at this and I'm saying, man, this looks like this is just gonna keep going, right? Like this looks to me like this is a good trade, but everything that I know says that this turns into a shit show from here. like everything in my experience on Fridays before a holiday in December tells me that this turns into a shit show. Certainly those of you that took trades today, though, I hope you did well, because it looks like there was definitely some opportunity that I passed on today, huh? It's okay. The one time where I was kind of interested, the interesting thing is like the one point where I was interested in taking a trade was like short and the liquidity was bad, so I passed on it. I think I might have been able to have made $10. I wasn't paying close enough attention. $800, man. That's so good. Wait, so did oil? Oh yeah, oil's at 80.2. That is good. Oh wow, when I look over here, the cat gets a really smug look on his face. Bet that spot get changed. Okay, so I'm trying to remember, where was the site? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, this is the whole subreddit? I didn't know there was a whole subreddit. I'll open that up. There's this website that had like a link. Maybe I can pay somebody to make a cat that, you know, has a business outfit. Or maybe we can make a business outfit for him. No. You're a 3D artist, but not good with characters, unfortunately. Man, what is the name? Okay, I have to search my history. Good thing I don't look at anything on my anything questionable on the internet. It would be embarrassing. Cats are notoriously difficult to model and animate? Really? Really? No, I'm telling you, dude, I don't look at anything. Was it? You gotta go for like you can see how much research I did for this. It was like insane, dude. Was it Booth PM? Yep. Live 2D max price equals 0. Okay. So now there's all these ones. Now that I've kind of know what you guys like. Okay. I don't know how I don't know if a crab would work. Maybe there's a cat-eared girl. There you go. There's a robot. Oh, look, there's a puppy. You can get that. That's a cute puppy. So super. What if it was a super cute cat? Oh, man. What if it was a man with cat ears? What the hell? Explain this to me. So I'm sitting here like, I think I got it figured out. I think I got the anime thing figured out. And then there's this cyberpunk boy here. What the heck is that? He's got a bunny tail. He's got a little, no, is it a bear tail? It's a bear tail. The fetch. I do like the hair color though. That is kind of cool. There you go. There's a puppy. He is cute AF. That is, I'm going to leave that one up. Okay, now that one looks like a child. That looks like a child. A bat? What the heck? Some of these are real. Some of the avatars that people want really are like, what? There's another ant. What the heck? I never saw that one again before. What's on her mouth? It says, I hate you on her face. Okay. That's a little weird. You like the puppy? But I like what you guys were saying. Like cats kind of have this intellectual thing going on. That looks like a child too. It's a space girl. I could just be like a straight up furry. Good grief. Oh, there's a cute succubus. Oh. I have to admit, I like the succubus girls. Like, the thing that I like about the succubus girl is that it's like a more unique character. You know, there's got to be something that people remember about it. You know, I guess like a guy coming in and just being a cat, that's maybe a little memorable. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what to do. It's kind of my dad right now. Oh wait, I missed your question. I have the second interview. Oh, second interview for junior data analysts. I'm cramming so hard they asked all the questions. Python, R, Power about. Told them I know some. So if they asked you that in the first interview, are you sure that they're gonna ask you more technical questions in the second interview? What if I was a Pichu? Delete that. Yeah, maybe I will. There's some of these that are like cute girls that I don't remember seeing before. I'm like, I guess I'll click and at least look at it. Oh, this one's a fox girl. No, thank you. No, thank you. Ew. It is a little child. That looks like a little child too, to be honest. That looks like a little child. I don't like that. It's cute though. Yeah. This one I could match it up with the, oh, maybe not. I was gonna say it looks kind of German to me. What is with the what is with the shrimp? What is with the shrimp on her shirt? He's just showing the assets in the editor. That's not interesting. Dude, that dog is cute AF. The heck is this? Oh, okay, that just looks weird. A fully rigged white fox. It's like an actual fox. Okay, let's try the dog. I can remember where to frickin' put it. Palm is what it's called. That's funny. Oh, it's a cult. A bunny cult. That's funny. Okay. Cool. Okay. Gus, how are you doing? What have you been up to? By the way, how's our vote coming along here? Yeah, you guys like the cat ears. Oh no, wait, but we're supposed to take one away. So just the cat and cat ears are tied, right? Oh no, you guys are, business is winning out, huh? Come on. I think my machine is a little bit slow here today. We're doing good. I haven't really traded a whole lot this latter half of the month, so We just kind of been messing around. We're messing around with virtual avatars today because we were making a joke about it yesterday, so I went and did all the research. It was fun. I had fun. Okay, where's the dog? Where is he? He not showing up yet? Oh, this must be this one. Yeah. That's cute. That is adorable. He doesn't really talk very well though. And his tongue just gets stuck in his mouth. What the heck? It's still cute. Not very emotive. You can move the head. I can move the head. It's okay. Let's move this back over here. Well, we got like 5 minutes left, so I think I'm gonna switch this back over here. Kind of do a little final walkthrough of what we got going on here. Hold on a second. Gotta get. Oh, okay, no, we're fine. The 10-year has not moved very much since we last looked at this, huh? The last 30 minutes is kind of stuck. So this looks like the treasuries, at least, looks like the traders have all gone home. Now the S&P 500 is kind of turning back down. And there's actually some pretty strong deltas behind that too. Hold on a second. If I pull back here, yeah. So they've sold almost this whole thing. So it kind of looks like they got their profits and they're kind of taking them now. I don't know, but that doesn't look particularly good. Yeah. That's not particularly good. It's funny to me that the business one is the one that's winning. I like this song because it reminds me of Queens of the Stone Age. Oh yeah, this is the anime one. I do like it. I wonder if he used samples to make the instrument parts or if he made them digitally. I would think that it probably came from a recording, but yeah. Very jazzy. It reminds me of something that would be in like a Cowboy Bebop if it was made today or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I do like it. I do like it. Hey, I got the sound. Why did it go off twice? Is it because I have it on here? Yeah, we don't need that anymore. The Cowboy Bebop show? Oh, I've ranted about that on here before, man, but I'll rant about it again. The Cowboy Bebop anime or Netflix series was the biggest waste of my life. I've never had my time waste. So like the thing is it's not like when you're watching it, there are a lot of shows these days that like have terrible writing and so on and so forth, but like the production values are really good, so it kind of fools you. So while you're watching it, you don't necessarily sit there and be like, this is just like terrible. You know, there's points where it's like, it's kind of boring, but maybe it's going somewhere. I'm gonna stick it out, okay? here's what happens at the end. So for those of you, I'm gonna spoil Cowboy Bebop here for you, so you don't want to hear about it, just scroll, you know, it's okay, we're almost done anyways, you can leave. The story of Cowboy Bebop is he used to be in the mob, and then he got together with this girl who was his like best friend's girlfriend or whatever, and so he got kicked out of the mob. And then at the end of the series, the girlfriend gets shot, so then he goes to take revenge on the friend, and he kills the friend and then dies in the aftermath, and that's Cowboy Bebop. And the whole show is basically like, you think that he's so cool and aloof, but as time goes on, you find out that the reason he's like that is because he's basically depressed, because of the situation with his girl. Okay, so what they do in the Netflix series is you get to the very end, the girl doesn't die, and instead the girl is like, hey, let's kill your best friend and then take over the mob, and then you and I can control the mob. That's how it ends. It is like so insulting. They did not understand the point of the anime at all. Like at all. It was so insulting. It was very infuriating. I don't think I've ever seen a work where they're, you know, paying homage to a previous work, or, you know, recreating it for live action, that was more disrespectful to the source material than that show. I really wonder, I remember all this stuff about like the people that made it hadn't even watched the original show, and there's just all this. It was absolutely terrible. So like, and here's the thing, Kyle, you say, thank goodness I paused it at episode 3. It's almost worth watching just for the experience of being so pissed off at the very end. Because it's like, once you get to that point and you see how terrible the ending is, then you start going back over the whole series and you start noticing all of the things that you missed before. Like, oh, this was bad, this was bad, this was bad. It's really an interesting experience. Like, it's so bad it's almost worth watching. Just to see, because like, really, in my mind, the Cowboy Bebop Netflix adaptation is like the worst adaptation of anything ever. It was just so bad. You didn't know the story, so you just thought it was bad from the very beginning. That's hilarious, dude. It was kind of like it's kind of like, where's this going? Yeah, like Cowboy Bebop kind of has this thing, like it's kind of really lonely and slow burn, you know, is. And when you translate that to live action, is just like, this is just boring. This is just boring. Yeah, it's terrible. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Well, guys, it's time for me to get going. I will not be streaming next week. I will still be in Discord, but I'm going to be studying for my test and making content for you guys. Yeah, and just be advised, next week is the lowest liquidity week of the year. The markets do not behave the same that last week of the year between Christmas and New Year's. They just do not behave the same way, and I would highly recommend practicing some restraint, because it's going to look like it's going to do something. It'll look like it's going to do something, and then it just screws you over. It's like, it just acts different from any other week of the way. Yeah. Take a week off, market won't run away. Exactly. And when we come back in January, and especially after that first non-farms payroll in January, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. I will not be able to get away with saying, oh, we just screwed off, it's okay, yep, blah, blah, blah. No. When January comes, it's go time for Seth. So be there. And join Discord, because I'll still be there on Discord. All right. In the meantime, stay excellent, team.